Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Ignore the hair and wetness. I've just got out of the shower and I've got about less than an hour to make this video before I need to go back to other work. So, Anatomy of a Disaster. It's not that big of a disaster. I just kind of crashed my boat a little bit into the dock. I'm new at this, aren't I? You know. The disaster is that I was quite sure I knew how to drive my boat, and then disastrously I couldn't. So I hit some things. Well, not some things, one thing. Just a little thing. And they're kind of rubbery, so they're made to be hit. But yeah. First of all, look at the steam off my mouth. First of all, let's look at where I am. So, this is Portland. Hanging off on the bottom of the England like thus. And in this big man-made harbour, which was used during the war and stuffs, is this itty bitty marina. So what I'm going to do is switch this so that it is north up, just so it's easier to look at. Radio. So, the wind on this day was coming from the top of this screen. And my boat was... Keep going, just there. That is actual my boat. And where I wanted to go was over yonder, diagonally, into there. Stern into the wind. So, why? Well, the prevailing wind down here is southwesterly, which means it's on the bow all the time. But when it clocks around to west or northwest, it sort of comes in through the harbour entrance and creates some big swells on that pontoon there. So by moving further back a little bit, it's a hell of a lot comfier, which I've learned in the last few weeks because there's been loads of storms coming through and stuff, and it's fantastic. So that's why. Now, where did it start going wrong? Well, I sort of sorted all the lines out, and luckily I rang Jez to give me a lift, getting the boat over just in case and catching my lines. So I thought that this prop walk kicked to the stern to starboard. No, to port. So if you look at the direction I needed to go, if the prop walk is kicking by stern to port, then the wind is coming here. What will happen is, as the stern goes to port, the wind will push the boat over, and it should be able to sort of ferry glide or whatever on the prop diagonally across and sort of control the angle to the wind with the prop walk and the speed backwards with the revs, and sort of balance it across, yada yada yada, in there, chuck Jez a line, casual as all sin, park up, look like a driving god. You know what I mean? That was the first issue. Well, that was the plan. So, here we go. Everything's set up, the lines are singles, check with Jez, we're ready to go. In fact, I think I'm on the phone to him. Get ready with the lines. Pull my shorts up because, you know, always hanging down. Click the boat into reverse to start dropping the lines off. And if you watch where the... Have I clicked it in yet? Now if you watch where the bow's going, that is not a boat that kicks to port on the stern. That's a boat that's kicking to starboard on the stern, and that puts me in a predicament, especially because it takes me a little bit longer to get the lines off, and then I basically just have to smash it in reverse because the bow is now heading towards the boat next to me. So that wasn't exciting at all. And away we go. So straight away, things aren't going as I wanted them to go. I'm going the wrong way, basically, on the stern. Right, so as you can see, over to the right there is a Jez standing on a dock, which is where I want to go. And what you can see is happening is not what I want to happen. So, obviously, I'm putting the tiller full over. It's pointless. I've not got enough way on going astern for the rudder to overcome the prop walk. And no matter how many revs I give it in astern, because it's a little two-blade folding prop, I can't get fast enough, soon enough, to sort of bring the stern around. For reference, there is sort of 20 knots of wind here, 20 plus knots, gusts. It was a bit of a bad idea to do it on this day. So at this point, I sort of decide to spin it around and try something else. The something else nearly got me in a pickle. So obviously if you imagine the fairway, the top and the bottom, and the wind is coming from here, up here is a safe area because the wind's going to blow you away from it. Down here, not so safe. And what I've actually done here is come down and along the bottom of here with 20 knots of wind blowing me into the back of other boats. Not the best idea I've ever had, but luckily I identified that hazard and give it the beans to get myself out of there. In very few scenarios does giving it the beans in a marina get you out of trouble, but on this occasion it was required. It won't quite do it justice here, but the stern of my boat there is incredibly, or was incredibly close to the other boat. So what I've done is swing it around, get the boat out through the wind, and then arrest my forward movement so I don't go flying into the boat in front of there. And what I'm planning on doing is now bringing the boat up the fairway, getting some speed in astern, so then I get some rudder authority, and then backing it into the space that I want, which is about to come up on the right hand side somewhere. Yeah, it's just there over my shoulder at the minute is where I want to be. No, it's not. It's just there over my shoulder now where I want to be. Spoiler alert, I don't end up there. Well, no, I do end up there, but it takes me a while. What I've done here is I should have kept going forward to give myself more of a run up. Now you can see as soon as I've gone into astern, the boat started kicking around to starboard again, and in doing so is not allowing me to get to that side of the pontoon. I'm ending up on the other side of the pontoon, which I could have just made up there, I suppose. But no, I wanted to faff and go to the other one. So it's a new day. I've just watched that back. I think I figured out what was happening. So obviously I'm going into astern when I'm at an angle to the wind like this. So then I'm hanging on my prop. So it's not prop walk that's pulling my stern around like that. I'm just hanging there and the wind is blowing the bow around, which is why it was turning so much. So what I should have done is gone level almost with where I wanted to go, and then done it, which is kind of what I did in the end. Oh, I did a learning, it was painful. Alright, let's get back to the video. Okay, here comes the faffery. I've sped this bit up, but as you can see, now that I've figured out what's happening, I'm going astern, it's hanging on the prop, and then the little bit of prop walk is moving the prop to starboard, and then the bow's blowing in, so I'm basically crab walking exactly the opposite way to where I want to go. Where I want to be going is over to the right hand side of your screen there, and Jez is telling me to sort of hit the stern over to port and then go astern. And I'm doing that, but not violently enough and not quickly enough. I need to turn the boat more and account for the wind, which I'm just not doing. Oh, and what Jess said is you're trying to drive the boat like there's no wind. You can't do that. You've got to sort of beat the wind. And I'm getting in between the dock. I mean, obviously, if there was another boat there, I wouldn't be able to do this. But it's just... if you watch Jez on the dock, it's like Jez tennis. One way, then the other way, then the other way. Poor lad. What must he have been thinking? Oh, God. This is redonkulous. Anyway, I finally managed to get the stern over sort of far enough-ish. And throw Jez a line. that pontoon's pretty bloody wobbly. So now what Jez is doing, see there, the wind gets me. And here it happens. The scrape. It's not that bad, is it? It's made for that. Sort of. Bloody thing. Poor girl. Anyway. Yeah, and then we're back in. Oh. It's stupid. So I think... So let's assess what was wrong. Well, one, it was very, very windy. Two, I've never driven the boat before. Three, I think there's a load of weed. It's a 2-blade folding prop, and I think there's a load of weed on it, so that was probably not helping. Four, complete and utter lack of experience. Four should be number one. A lack of experience, what can I say? I'm only just starting doing this, aren't I? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying. As long as I don't hit now or damage anything. Yeah. Screwed up, didn't I? Cock that one up. We'll put that down as one of the bad ones. I'm back. I had to go and do some editing and come back because I started on a ramble and I thought I better cut myself off. I'm not good at this video editing malarkey and stuff. I need to start writing a script or something. But then I don't have time. Yeah, I screwed up basically. It's not a bad one. It's just a bit of lack of experience, bit of too much wind, bit of not knowing what you're doing. The thing is, like, the problem was I had a plan in my head, what was going to happen and what I needed to do, which is probably the right plan, I think. I don't know. I need to check on that. The problem arises when it stops going to plan, and then you lack the experience to make a new plan up on the fly very, very quickly. And that's basically what happened. Luckily I had Jez there barking orders at me, doing pontoon tennis. Yeah, but it is what it is. So yeah, now that I think I've got my head around it, I feel a bit better about it. Like afterwards I felt a bit crappy really, because a bit of confidence knock, I suppose, or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's nothing major. I just kissed a pontoon. Who's not done that? But yeah, I don't know. It's because what I expected to happen didn't happen, and I thought I knew what I expected to happen. That's what threw me. But then again, it's boats, innit, and boats are arseholes, so that's that. Yeah, I'm going to sign off. I'd be interested to know what you think in the comments about my initial plan, whether it was a right or wrong one anyway, and what I sort of should have done to mitigate everything. I think a bubble just came out of my mouth. How weird's that? Stream of consciousness, nonsense, talking on videos, lot of balls, rubbish at YouTube. See you next time. My thumbs look really small there. I think it's the shadows. See you later.